Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2020 Subaru Crosstrek. Up front is a 2.0 liter flat 4, but down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving the Subaru Crosstrek because of that. This is a stick shift Crosstrek. They were offered for quite some time, but actually went away in 2023, and so this is my first time driving a manual Crosstrek, and I get to share the experience with you. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And huge thank you to Napleton Subaru in Schaumburg for letting me borrow their manual Subaru Crosstrek. If you would like to browse their inventory, you can do so down in the description below. But let's get back to that 2.0 liter flat 4 under the hood. Well, that was the base engine for the Subaru Crosstrek. In this era, you could also find it with the larger 2.5 liter flat 4, which is always my recommendation. You get a lot more power for not a lot of fuel economy loss up at the 2.5 liter, and when they debuted that, that was my preferred engine. However, you cannot get the manual transmission with the 2.5 liter. So if you want the stick shift, you had to get the 2 liter, which is what this is. So like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual. How does it feel? It's pretty good. It's not the craziest, best manual transmission I've ever felt, but I wasn't really expecting that out of a Crosstrek. I wasn't expecting to be tossed out of my socks. It feels, to no one's surprise, a lot like the Subaru WRX. It has a pretty confident throw. It's a little bit unfriendly here and there, but the clutch is nice and light. It has okay feel, but at the end of the day, you're shifting your own gears in a Subaru Crosstrek, and the alternative would be the automatic transmission, which is a CVT, and I really don't like CVTs. So this is totally the way to go. Last but not least, it still retains its all-wheel drive system like the automatic, which is hard to find manual all-wheel drive cars. This is one of them. How does it feel to drive the manual Subaru Crosstrek? Drives like any other Crosstrek. There's a decent amount of cabin noise, but that's across the board for Subarus. The ride is a little bit stiff, again, across the board for Subarus. So there's nothing that jumps out in this driving experience that's significantly better or significantly worse than its automatic counterpart, besides the fact that you get to shift your own gears. It's not a downgrade or an upgrade from the automatic experience, it's just different. No window down today, it's too cold. It's not fast. It's not blowing me away. I'm not, Fast and Furious nitrous button. What? I'm not doing that. It's fine. I would have loved to see the 2.5 liter with the manual transmission, but I can't have that, so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have physical gauges and a little screen. Off to the left is my tachometer. Off to the right is my speedometer and MPG gauge. And in the center, I do get a little screen. Unfortunately, I don't really get any information in the screen. I would have liked a coolant gauge or something of that sort. You do get your fuel gauge, which is digital, but not very precise. So overall, I don't love this little screen. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have skip track, volume, source, info, and phone options. And off to the right, we have our cruise control. To the left, we have a climate control vent, our gauge dimmer switch, and traction control off, but then nothing beyond that because this is a pretty basic trim level of the Subaru Crosstrek. Moving on to the door, we have the latch to get in and out, power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get some more information like time and outside temperature, which you can see is a frigid 10 degrees here today, as well as our climate options, but again, nothing really too significant there. We do have our infotainment system. This is a lot smaller than what you would find in a modern Crosstrek, and I kind of like it for that. Pretty simple. This is still the Starlink system and operates as any newer Subaru would, and here is the backup camera in case you were curious. Down below, we have a CD player and some physical buttons for that infotainment screen, and then our climate controls. Single zone climate, AC, max AC, on, off, auto. That's it. Then we do have a cubby with our aux, USB-A, and 12-volt outlet, and then the shifter. the whole point of this video. I think the shifter looks really good. I think it's very presentable, and it doesn't feel like an economy, rubber, plastic, whatever shifter. It actually feels like they gave a rip, and here is a 2015 Subaru WRX that I just drove, and you could see it has the same shift knob from the factory. So, although it is shared with other manual Subarus, at least it's shared with a good one. Then we have our heated seats that are fully on high today, and the cup holders, so we'll do a big friggin' bottle test. It fails the big friggin' bottle test, but you still have to try it because sometimes automakers will change the center console design just to accommodate the manual transmission or automatic and vice versa. So we still gotta try it, but they didn't change the cup holders here for the Crosstrek, so it still fails. Then we do get a little center console and the seats. The seats are cloth, but thank the Lord that they're heated today. And I enjoy them. I think they work well, but again, this was a very basic car, so it has basic seats, and I'm not shocked for that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. I apologize if the vents are making a lot of noise in the background, but as I mentioned, it is 10 degrees today. It is very cold. Speaking of which, I don't have any vents back here. Would have loved to have had them on a day like today, Subaru, but I guess not. I guess I can't have anything not. I do fit back here pretty well, which is actually really nice to see because the Crosstrek isn't a very big car, but I fit back here. I'm 5'11". I'm not a small guy. My head's not hitting the ceiling. My knees aren't hitting the seat in front of me, but apparently I'm very staticky now. Ugh. Either way, the only downside in the back seats, besides the vents, no heated rear seats, fine, whatever, the seats are pretty hard. These seats back here are a little bit unforgiving. I wouldn't want to ride back here for a very long time or over any severe potholes, but that's okay. Let's now hop out into the frigid temperature and talk about the trunk. All right, around the back of the Subaru Crosstrek, pull it up here. And we do have our Subaru floor mats, obviously saved for the next owner. We have some tie downs up here. We don't seem to have a 12-volt outlet. Would have loved to have seen that, but not the end of the world. And we can come down here, and we do have our spare tires. So plenty of stuff to love back here around the back of the Crosstrek, but nothing too crazy. Oh, we also do have this privacy cover, so there's that. But love to see all of that in the back of the manual Crosstrek. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I like the look of this generation of Crosstrek. It might be one of my favorites, but it's also the one that I've driven the most, so I have the most kinship with this body style of Crosstrek. I personally don't like the black color. I think this car came in so many other great, fantastic colors that this is really a muted car, and obviously, you can tell it's the winter here in Chicago, and the salt has had its way with it, which just shows up. Black cars just don't look good in the wintertime. But I think in overall design, I think it's fine enough. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a manual Subaru Crosstrek? If you want my full thoughts on the Crosstrek, I'll sum them up here. It's a great car. I'll probably own one of these in the future. My girlfriend loves them. It's basically a factory lifted hatchback, and I've seen Crosstreks and XVs, or whatever the previous gen was called. I've seen them do some pretty cool off-road stuff, and they have good off-road prowess while also being good daily drivers. I think most Jeep owners would be pretty happy with the capabilities and drivability of this car as opposed to their prehistoric chariots. But how about the manual? How does it feel to finally drive the manual? Well, as you saw with the acceleration pull at the beginning of the video, it's not very fast. It's not the craziest, sportiest car ever made. However, I really like the fact that these were offered in manual for as long as they were, and in a vehicle that isn't necessarily sporty. There are plenty of people that want manual transmissions, but they don't need the BRZ. They don't need a Miata. They don't need a Porsche Cayman. They don't need the sportiness that manual transmissions are often sold with. This is simple, and it's so much better than the CVT alternative. I mean, my gosh, I would take this every single day of the week over the CVT. It's a really good transmission. It's a good car, all said and done, and now this is a really solid package. So my main point in making this video is if you want an all-wheel drive manual car, this is an option that's out there, and some people don't know that the Crosstrek was offered in a manual transmission. Well, I hope to fix that here today. This car was offered in manual up until 2023, and for that, It's pretty sweet. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Napleton Subaru in Schaumburg for letting me borrow their used 2020 Subaru Crosstrek manual. They have been absolutely wonderful to work with. They always have fun and interesting vehicles in their inventory. This is just one of them. I saw it on their website and I knew I had to drive it, and I appreciate them for giving me the opportunity. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.